Mission accomplished.
Seat as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
But wait, there's more.
The conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Hold up.
Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
there's several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
it. With Harry
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially and what that would mean or look like.
Oprah, they're so racist. That's not racist. Because even black people want to know. How brown the baby gonna be?
That conversation I'm never going to share.
Ooh, this is uncomfortable.
We'll talk when we get home.
Hello, Queens. Welcome to Wednesday night's reading. So lovely to have you here. Okay, my fruit flavored water is not really looking so great. I'll get actual tea next week. I didn't have a chance. All right, let me say hi to some people and we're going to jump right in because we just have an hour. Pam, good to see you. Hello. Hey, Meg, Jane, Maureen, Wendy. Chris Rock for the win is for sure. Nadine, good to see you as well. All right. What would we be without comedians? Honest to goodness, right? Especially now. We need comedians now more than ever because people are taking themselves way too seriously. Lighten up, people. Lighten up. Okay. So we are reading Attack today. Hello, Kitty. Good to see you. It is chapter 31. We're not going to get through the whole thing because we don't have enough time to. It's a longer one. But I'll just read until I hit an hour. And then I will jump over to my other stream. All right. This book is getting good. You know what? There's not that much left compared to what we've read. I don't know if you can kind of tell. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. This is what we have left. This is what we've read. And a little section of this is like all his references, his cited references for all the information. And I did hear him say the other day, he's writing a second book and it's coming out in 2026. So it's almost kind of perfect that we have to kind of stretch this last part out because maybe it'll go to when his book is released. I mean, we can time it perfectly once they announce when it's going to be released. But if it's not until later in 2026, we'll do something else in between. All right. I have decided I have allergies. I'm probably never going to go figure out what they are. Okay. Chapter 31, Attack. 3 weeks after Meghan declared that Archie was too young to fly to Aberdeen, the 4-month-old baby and his parents boarded a British airline flight to South Africa. Planning for the 10-day trip had started months earlier. Oh, really? Months earlier. So they were planning for this trip for him to go to Africa and months before they said, oh, he can't go to Aberdeen because he's too small. Okay. I love this writer, Tom. I mean, I don't like the way he writes, but I love the content and the research. It's amazing. And I like the style of writing in that. I don't like the excuse me, the grammar he uses, which is not incorrect, but it's just difficult to read aloud. But I love the content of what he has to say. I don't know why all of a sudden I have a frog in my throat right when I'm supposed to read. Okay. 10-day trip. They started planning months earlier. At the outset, the palace considered that the Sussexes might live in South Africa to develop Harry's humanitarian program. Towards the end of the planning, that option had disappeared. However, during their discussions, the couple asked to meet the victims of South Africa's poverty, disease, and violence. Ahead of their trip, Meghan's spokesman announced that she would be wearing cheap, sustainable clothes and would leave her unique engagement ring at home. The tour would be billed by the Palace and Sunshine Sachs as an opportunity to rebuild the couple's image. Even Archie's rebuild their image. They hadn't even left yet. So they really were in, like, I just feel like it all went to pot as soon as they stepped foot on American soil again. And she found her voice. She was much better without her voice in the palace. She had a voice. She's a victim. Okay. Even Archie's face, the Sussexes agreed, would be exposed to the cameras. Those same palace officials who organized the tour were unaware that in the weeks before their departure, the Sussexes had jettisoned their future in Britain. Focusing on themselves, they decided to move to North America. Oh, that's a great sentence. This is what I'm saying, the digs. Focusing on themselves, they decided to move to North America. They intended to use the South African tour as a branding operation, an opportunity to clarify their objectives. My objectives is to help the people of South Africa and all people of color as we go to Hollywood, the very, very white Hollywood. Okay. Harry could not conceal his emotional turbulence as he traveled across South Africa. Speaking to an 8-year-old Christian student, Peter Oakey, he described how often he woke up and felt overwhelmed by the world's many problems. He can't sleep because of the world's problems. Raised with, is it a golden spoon in your mouth? Silver spoon. Silver spoon in his mouth. Golden in his case. And he can't sleep. Okay. I mean, if he's got problems, there's problems. Sometimes, he told Oakey, it's hard to get out of bed in the mornings. During a speech, I mean, unless he's like clinically depressed, then okay. But I don't know what his concern is. I like, is he trying to say, I mean, like, is he saying Meghan is his concern? Like, not outwardly. Like, is he worried about everything because Meghan is turning his world upside down? Or is he just a man-child who can't deal with anything in life? Or is he truly depressed and needs to see somebody? Okay. Option 1, 2, and 3. During a speech to parents of seriously ill children in a township, beneficiaries of the Well Child Awards charity, Harry choked back tears, describing his emotion about fatherhood and how it pulls at my heartstrings in a way I could have never understood until I had a child of my own. The crying prince, the father of a healthy child, was comforted on the stage by impoverished parents struggling daily with overwhelming difficulties. It's such a bad look. Oh my gosh. Unlike them, Harry could not manage the normal stress of life. Despite his unique privilege, he was a casualty without a purpose. That's a great title for their charity and their cause. Casualties without a purpose. Harry and Meghan. The Duchesses of Sussex. While Harry spilled out his suffering, Meghan threw herself into a personal campaign. With perfect poise, she played the part of the campaigning Hollywood celebrity. Standing on a tree stump, she told a group of women in Nyanga, South Africa's murder capital, near Cape Town, quote, "May I say that while I am here with my husband as a member of the royal family, I want you to know that for me, I am here with you as a mother, as a wife, and as a woman of color, and as your sister." At private meetings across the country with businesswomen, politicians, and academics, she advocated women's rights. At Johannesburg University, introducing herself as your sister, she told the audience, "When we empower girls hungry for education, we cultivate women who are emboldened to affect change within their communities and globally." Okay, can I just say, I'm having a difficult time with that word salad sentence myself. As somebody with a degree that works in the world of language, how in God's green earth did she expect to say this to impoverished people who clearly don't have an education and make any sense of that? Know your audience, Meghan. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. She cares about the cameras picking it up and how good it sounds to somebody else. Well, it only sounds good to people who don't pay attention to the words and they just listen to that jibber jabberish and just go, oh, yes. Yes. Okay, I don't know where I was now. Just threw the book down. Let's see. Oh, here we are. Yes. Yes. Anytime people hear words like emboldened and empower, change, throw those words out and people just clap and think, yay, yes. No plan, no outline, no direct steps. No, this is how we move forward and do this. Nope, just gonna throw out flowery words. We should all be bold and embrace the underprivileged and empower those who need to get their voice. How'd I do? Meaningless. Meaningless. Do something. Standing in front of people talking does nothing. Just saying. Sorry. I'm in a mood today. I'm in a mood. I really am in a mood. I had to listen to a whole bunch of Tony and McKelty and their Patreon right before this, so I'm sorry. I'm feeling snarky. The missing link was explaining what women should be empowered to do. I feel like every time I pause and talk, the next sentence backs me up. Thank you, Tom. The missing link was explaining what women should be empowered to do. She offered no purpose for the power. She was also contradictory. After describing herself as a woman of color, she said in the same breath how she hoped that her marriage would not be seen through the prism of race. She put that in the same speech and had no idea that those are opposite things. Okay. Left dangling in the air were fundamental problems. Unlike South Africa's radicals, she could not explain the particular challenges of a mixed race woman in a Western society. Nor did she question the values of Western society, because those were her values. No one told Meghan her messages were confusing. Instead, she was praised for the fluency of her speeches and the sincere excitement of her audiences. Her popularity grew, but her disgruntlement increased and was aimed at her staff. The officials, Harry felt, simply didn't like Meghan and would stop at nothing to make her life difficult. End quote. In turn, her staff believed that Meghan assumed that her success justified that entitlement. Always present amid the tension was the Sussexes' relationship with the media. The few British journalists officially, did you notice just recently how she went to Paris Fashion Week, which I heard she invited herself to Paris Fashion Week. She contacted somebody who knew somebody and said, "Can you get me in?" That's how she got to Paris Fashion Week. And before she would get into every car, so she didn't miss a step and repeat. She was everyone she could possibly get her face onto. And then right before getting into her car, she paused and she looked back for the cameras. Hates the media, though. Hates the media. Yep. Actually, I really think Harry does hate the media. I think he does. And I think the longer he's married to her, the more he realizes who she really is. And it's contradictory to who she presented herself to be. Not that Harry's a peach by any means, but let me just say, he got duped. Not the brightest. I mean, that was a match that was destined. I mean, she outwits him in maneuvering and manipulating in a way that it just runs circles around him. I don't think he even knows what's up from down. I think his world is falling apart and he still doesn't realize it's Meghan. That's how much she's got a web spun around this kid. All right. But that's his fault. He should have studied more. He should have become a little smarter, because look at him now. He's in a mess. A few British journalists officially allowed to accompany the Sussexes during their tour felt ostracized. Acting on the Sussexes' orders, Sarah Latham denied the media normal, if limited. Sarah Latham denied the media normal, if limited, access to the couple. Nevertheless, anxious to placate the couple, even their sternest British critics suggested that their smiles for the cameras feels like the beginning of a rapprochement with the British public. Rapprochement. Okay, I'm going to spell it. I am the first one to admit when I don't know something. I'd be a terrible narcissist. Okay. RAPPROCHEMENT. And once again, I am not too embarrassed to admit I have never seen that word in print before in my life. His vocabulary is too rich for me. Moving on. The tour, the media proclaimed, was a resounding success. Meghan, Harry, and Archie were hailed as heroes. The first photos of Archie were headlined as sensational, yet every olive branch incensed Harry. The positive coverage of the tour, he believed, exposed the double standards of this specific press pack that had vilified Meghan almost daily for the past 9 months. Deliberately, he ignored even their benign questions. What a brat. No other word to describe that. He's a brat. He's a spoiled little man-child brat. Told you I was in a mood. Harry and Meghan were shackled. Every night, they scoured the internet to read the newspaper reports and the trolls' postings on social media. Can you believe every night they went through all of it? Gluttons for punishment, I tell you. Irrationally, they grouped the two together and fed each other's frenzy about the media. They're sick. Convinced that as champions of goodness, they were being persecuted by, I feel like I should know this word, but I don't, mendacity. 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 You know what? I know we're almost through with the book, but there's going to be another one. So I'm going to start writing down all our new vocabularies. We're going to have like a word of the day calendar for Jenny as opposed to Cody. Where was that? Mendacity. Well, first of all, here's RAPPROCHEMENT. And then mendacity. They fed each other's frenzy about the media. Irrationally, they grouped the two together and fed each other's frenzy about the media, convinced that as champions of goodness, convinced that as champions of goodness, they were being persecuted by mendacity and racism. They felt victimized by the mildest criticism. Oh, that's right. Like the media says good things about her. She likes the media. Harry, I think, just hates the media, period. Untruthfulness. Thank you, Deborah. Has anyone else heard that word before? You're all writing it down. I hope you all Googled it. It's a French word. Oh, it's a French word that means bring closer. Oh, rapprochement. Okay. Approach. That makes sense. Approach was a French word. Rapprochement. Rapprochement means bring closer. And mendacity means lying, dishonest, untruthful. I'm sorry for the pause. May as well learn something while we're at it. Use Tom's brain to increase mine. All right. Mendacity and racism, that they felt victimized. Okay. The British press, Harry later said, was destroying my mental health. And I thought, this is toxic. Not if you don't read it. People could there could be like YouTube channels that are the I Hate Senior Perspective channels. I don't know. And if there were, I would never go on it. Why would I do that? It's like just a hateful person that just spews hate. Why? And I mean, maybe if they even speak the truth, but they say it meanly, I don't want to watch it. I'm not going to ruin my day. No, people don't know how to have joy in their lives. These are the same people that have friends that are full of drama. Do you know them? Oh gosh, I had some of those friends, like not anymore. But there was a period of time where, like your kids are friends with other kids. So you become friends with the parents. So like by virtue of that, you sort of are in groups of friends. And I had some that I could not wait for my daughter to graduate from high school. I'm like, drama follows them everywhere and they're complaining about everything and things are always going wrong. And then I would say, well, this is what you need to do. Just go up to her and, who's ever mother or whatever, and just say that, oh no, I'm not going to do that. And then the next time I see her, they're like out having tea somewhere, laughing and giggling. And then later on, I'm like, oh, did everything okay? Did you guys work it through? Did you talk through it? No, I didn't say anything about it. Like you were spitting visceral and like going on and on for 2 hours the other day with me about how horrible and vile this person is. And now you're sitting down and having tea and laughing. And then you learn, okay, sorry, you have to go. It's nice when they're just parents of friends of yours. When the kids graduate from high school, you could just easily make a divide and go, oh, moving on. Anyway, sorry. That's just what reminded me of Harry. This is toxic. And then all night long sitting there scrolling and reading the newspapers and scrolling social media. It's ridiculous. It's like being a hypocrite. It is like being a hypocrite. I stand by that. He's being a hypocrite. Okay. Harry's instability fed Meghan's fears that friends were leaking stories to the media. In particular, she suspected Victoria Beckham of indiscretion. What? Harry called David Beckham to repeat the accusation. Outraged, Beckham's truthful denials damaged their relationship. By the way, Netflix just came out with a new Beckham story on the Beckhams, and my Netflix expires in 1 week. So within the next week, I'm going to watch it. I don't know when. Maybe I'll forego sleep one night. But I want to see it before it ends. I heard it was good. The result, their staff saw, further aggravated their relations with the royal family. Y'all think? Just as in Australia, the Sussexes convinced themselves that their stardom in South Africa was unappreciated by Buckingham Palace. Their loyalty was being exploited. Having broken with her family, Meghan persuaded Harry to consider doing the same. At the same time, she poured out her anger to her Los Angeles advisors about the dark forces at work. Palace officials were briefing against them. They were being held back by Charles and William. They deserved better. Back came the reassurance that global recognition and her fame and fortune were guaranteed once she returned to America. But first, she needed to set the scene for her return. The gentle illusion of the benign Sussexes did not match their hunger for revenge against the newspapers. Harry was in the final stages of settling his claim against the Daily Mirror and against the Sun newspapers for hacking his telephone. Well, that was justifiable. I mean, that's jail time in America. You can't do that. So, but he loves litigation, that boy. Yes, he does. That success, he believed, would be followed by another victory against the Mail on Sunday. He had complained to IPSO, the press standards watchdog, about the expose of alleged dishonesty in a series of wildlife photographs. The images posted on Instagram showed Harry standing bravely close to untethered elephants. As the newspaper revealed, the photos were untruthful. They had been cropped to conceal restraining ropes around the elephant's legs. Harry's hopeless complaint reflected his lack of judgment in pursuit of the media and any other enemy. During August, the Sussexes crossed a Rubicon. Until then, Gerard Tyrrell, the royal family's usual legal advisor, had led their threats of legal action against the Mail on Sunday for publishing Meghan's letter to her father. Tyrrell had sent the newspaper a draft claim for breach of copyright and Meghan's privacy. Her relationship with her father, claimed Meghan, was private. No public interest could justify her letter's publication. As an experienced litigator, Tyrrell knew the risk of going to the next step and actually launching into legal action. Meghan would not only be exposed to cross-examination. I would love to see her cross-examined on anything, just like anybody who would force her to get to the truth and answer a question direct. See the judge in a court of law, he would be like, ma'am, please just answer the question. Stop talking around it. Just answer the question. It'd be great. Oh, okay. An experienced litigator knew going to the next step and launching legal action. Meghan would not only be exposed to cross-examination in the witness box, but she would be compelled before the trial to disclose embarrassing information, including every text and email to the 5 friends who spoke to People magazine, to Harry, and to her Kensington Palace staff. Her denial that she did not know that her friends were giving an interview to the magazine or would refer to her letter would be rigorously tested under this cross-examination. There would also be the distasteful spectacle of a courtroom battle with her father. Her claim that she had repeatedly tried to contact him after the wedding, which sadly went unanswered, was dangerous territory. She would need to provide proof of her care for him. Similarly, her claim that she did not protect him from the media intrusion. Oh, she did protect him from media intrusion before the wedding would be refuted. And while she fumed that the Mail on Sunday had published stories showing her in a false and damaging light, she did not intend to sue the newspaper for defamation. Wonder why. Discounting the dangers, Meghan wanted action. Clearly dissatisfied with Gerard Tyrrell's advice, her Los Angeles lawyer suggested that Keith Schilling, an aggressive London solicitor not previously employed by the royal family, was an ideal warrior for the case. Shabbily dressed and speaking sotto voce with the traces of an East End lilt, Schilling was the antithesis of the puka St. James lawyer. Loving a fight and charging his high fees, Schilling and his staff boasted to potential clients about their successes. They rarely volunteered information about their failures. Encouraged by Schillings to expect victory against the Mail on Sunday, the Sussexes had decided before they left London to attack the newspaper. The timetable was set by Schillings. Unexpectedly, the solicitors emailed that the claim would be filed while they were in South Africa. Anxious palace officials asked the Sussexes not to ruin the tour. To their honor, the Sussexes ignored their pleas. To their horror. To their horror, the Sussexes ignored their pleas. Their legal battle was launched in South Africa rather than in London. Posted on the Sussexes' official website, Harry's aggressive script denounced their enemies. Partly drafted by David Sherborne, a media-hating barrister regularly parading in the spotlight, Harry's headline damned the press pack for relentless propaganda against Meghan and pursuing a game, and one that we have been unwilling to play from the start. Harry continued. Hang on. I need a bit of tea. Cheers. Pinky up, right? Okay. Where were we? And the media hating barrister regularly parading spotlight. Harry's headline damned the press. Harry continued. Unfortunately, my wife has become one of the latest victims of a British tabloid press that wages campaigns against individuals with no thought to the consequences. A ruthless campaign that has escalated over the past year, throughout her pregnancy and while raising our newborn son. There is a human cost to this relentless propaganda, specifically when it's knowingly false and malicious. And though we have continued to put on a brave face, as so many of you can relate to, I cannot begin to describe how painful it has been. Because in today's digital age, press fabrications are repurposed as truth across the globe. One day's courage is no longer tomorrow's chip paper. End quote. I have no idea what chip paper is. It's a simple word. I just don't know the reference. Okay. Clearly forgetting her trips during her pregnancy to New York and Morocco, Harry claimed that the media had created lie after lie at her expense simply because she has not been visible while on maternity leave. End quote. Whoops. While failing to identify the lies, he revealed their anguish. That's so them. Like, here's how we suffered, but we're not going to give you any specifics on what went down because nothing did. In this case, now they're anguished over the media and how she couldn't travel. And yet, baby shower across the country, not across the country, across the world. And another trip to Morocco. And there were not really that many paps outside. She contacted everybody and told them. And she had the most famous, we read that in here. She picked the hotel that's the most famous, the most paps are at. In the pictures you see, there's a couple. There's a few people, and then there's a couple paps. But she wants so badly to be Princess Diana and to be hounded by the press. But nobody cares. You will never be Princess Diana. Okay. While failing to identify the lies, he revealed their anguish. Quote, I have been a silent witness to her private suffering for too long. To stand back and do nothing would be contrary to everything we believe in. There comes a point when the only thing to do is to stand up for this behavior because it destroys people and destroys lives. Put simply, it is bullying, which scares and silences people. We all know this isn't acceptable. No, he's so dense. That's why I give him the dense voice now. He's so dumb. Together they are. They're a celebrity. They're the royal family. They're going to be in the media and people are going to say things about them. He wants nobody to say anything but kind words all the time. It just doesn't work that way. Has he? He knows. He was raised in it. Jiminy Christmas, how dumb can you be? Finally, he played the Diana card. Meghan, he said, was falling victim to the same powerful forces, and his deepest fear is history repeating itself. I've seen what happens when someone I love is, oh gosh, we got another word. Sometimes he takes normal words, but he turns them into he'll take a adjective and turn it into a noun or a verb, so it becomes a different anyway. All right, see, here we go. COMMODIT Commodit commoditized. Oh, like a commodity? See, that's what I'm saying. Commoditized. I've never seen this word before, ever in print, but okay. I think I understand what he's saying. If that's the reference, I don't know. Oh, chips or fries. Oh, right. Chips or fries. I love fish and chips. All right. That was at the end of a chip paper, fry paper. No longer, one day's coverage is no longer tomorrow's chip paper. Oh, okay. Because they serve the fries wrapped in the paper, right? Do they do that in London? I know they do that in New Zealand. Do they do that in all the Commonwealth places? Curious. Okay. Let's see. I've seen what happens when someone I love is commoditized to the point that they are no longer treated or seen as a real person. I lost my mother, and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces. Harry claimed that in publishing excerpts from Meghan's letter to her father, the Mail on Sunday, had misled readers by strategically omitting select paragraphs, specific sentences, and even singular words to mask the lies they had perpetuated for over a year. I want to see this letter, the full letter, and compare it to what the Daily Mail printed to see how much of what he's saying is true. He would later assert about Diana, my mother was chased to her death when she was in a relationship with someone who wasn't white. Are you joking? Is that what he's saying now? This is why she was being chased by the paparazzi. This is what, I mean, let's not talk about the fact that her driver was drunk and going a gazillion miles an hour. Like, let's just forget all that. But also, she's Princess Diana, and she got chased by paparazzi everywhere she went, and she declined royal protection. But he's saying she went to her death because she was with somebody who wasn't white. That's rich, Harry. That's right. That's spoke straight. He's parroting Meghan. I can hear it now. Because did he ever say that before? Let me know. Maureen, any of you over there in London, did he say that before Meghan? That he believed that the reason why she died? I mean, I know people didn't like who that guy was in general. I mean, because he seems kind of sleazy and gross and manipulative and just not a nice guy. But Fayed something. I can't remember. Anyway. Well, I don't know about the guy that she actually was dating. Well, kind of. He was engaged to be married to somebody else and then hooked up with Diana. And I blame Diana for that too. I don't know how much she knew, but if you knew somebody was in any kind of relationship with somebody else, you don't go on a second date with them. I'm mad at everybody today, just so you know. Everybody. They're all going down. Not happy with anybody. All right. Throwing digs at Diana, Meghan. Okay. My mother was chased to her death, and when she was in a relationship with somebody who wasn't white. Okay. And now, look what happened. Referring to Meghan. He said, they're not going to stop until she dies. Oh, please. The hyperbole. He forgot that Diana had actually fired her bodyguards. Thank you. And that the only criticism of her relationship with Dodi Fayed, that's who it was that the unemployed playboy, fond of drugs, had ordered a drunken driver to race through Paris. Okay. Didn't realize he was a playboy, a druggy playboy. I never really studied it. I think I got almost all my information from like whatever went across the news that week and then watching The Crown. It's not very reliable, but I mean, it gives me a framework anyway. Not to say that I think the whole thing's not reliable, but I just mean it's also, you know, embellished a bit for television. I would think, I assume. Shortly afterwards, in the midst of the tour, Schillings issued a high court claim on Meghan's behalf against the Mail on Sunday for publishing her parts of her letter. Her resort to law was not unprecedented. Charles had sued the same newspaper in 2006 for publishing his revelatory 1997 journal about his trip to Hong Kong. Despite the weakness of his case, the judge sided with Charles. British judges could be trusted to protect the royal family from embarrassment. In the claim, David Sherborne accused the Mail on Sunday of deliberately stirring up a dispute between Meghan and Thomas Markle as part of an agenda. Why would they care? I guess it could be an agenda, I suppose. All right, her father, described as vulnerable and fragile individual, had been exploited, harassed, and manipulated by the media. The claim also denied that People magazine had published any false or damaging information about Thomas Markle, which demanded any response. Sherborne claimed that the newspaper's selection of quotations from Meghan's letter was dishonest and reeked of clear malicious intent and deceived and misled its readers. Hysterical, ill-advised, hot-headed, self-indulgent, over-emotional were a few of the newspaper's verdicts about Harry's statement and the High Court claim. Okay, now let me read that first. Like Harry's statement about the High Court. Harry made a statement about the High Court, and the newspaper's verdicts were the headlines: hysterical, ill-advised, hot-headed, self-indulgent, over-emotional. Their South African state tour had ended in embarrassment. For the first time, some suggested the Sussexes ought to consider giving up their royal titles and becoming private citizens. Few realized that the Sussexes' assault on the media was a foretaste of a full frontal attack on the royal family. An ITV documentary, Harry and Meghan, An African Journey, was filmed by Tom Bradby. Ooh, Tom Bradby. This is Tom Bauer. I'm like, that name is similar. No, just begins with B. Transmission was scheduled for a date that was 2 weeks after the return on the 18th of October. The broadcast coincided with the Cambridge's official visit to Pakistan. Of course it did. Meghan does not like it when Catherine outshines her. Not only was the visit critically important for the British diplomacy, it was also intended to showcase Kate's transformation during her maternity leave into a more glamorous, self-confident woman. With a more youthful, lighter cut of hair and a new wardrobe, Kate had been helped by Virginia Chadwick Healy, a former Vogue editor and stylist, to match Meghan. Simultaneously, under Kate's influence, William had emerged as a calm heir, the People's Prince, to focus the media's attention on the couple. Harry was asked to delay the broadcast of the ITV documentary. He refused. That was judged to be wanton sabotage of the Cambridges and the government. An almost unnoticed casualty was another TV documentary crafted to promote Camilla. In planning an African journey, Tom Bradby, a journalist sympathetic to the brothers, had planned to portray the Sussexes' experience of the continent's horrendous problems. He had become friends with Harry while filming a documentary in, I should be able to pronounce this. It's a city's name, Lesotho. Lesotho. After Harry left Eton. Accompanied by Bradby's film crew, Harry had posed in Angola with children who had lost their limbs in landmine explosions. Bradby had also filmed Meghan meeting girls who had survived wartime abuse, including multiple rapes. Whether those events matched Diana's homily, "Anywhere I see suffering, that is where I want to be, doing what I can," was debatable. Neither Mary, whenever it says Meghan and Harry, and I'm just like reading it out, I just want to call him Mary. Neither Meghan nor Harry chose, as she had done, to confront misery and console the homeless, sick, and dying in the shelters, hospitals, and hospices in Britain. More pertinently, in Bradby's film, the Sussexes chose not even to focus on South Africa's human tragedies. What did they talk about? What was the whole focus of it? Just those 2 meetings that they did? She met some girls who survived abuse, and he posed with children who had lost limbs in landmines. And that's it? Like, I mean, I don't know. Let me read on. Yes. Deborah says she couldn't shine Diana's or Catherine's shoes. It's so true. It's so true. Michelle says Catherine outshines her at every turn. 100%. Yes. 100%. All right. The Sussexes decided to use the African backdrop to express pain about their own plight. Oh, right. What am I talking about? They spent the whole time talking about themselves and how miserable they are, how sad they are, how rough they have it. But these kids that don't have limbs from landmines. And little girls raped multiple times. But let's take a moment and talk about you, Harry and Meghan, and how rough your life is. Oh, gosh. I'll finish. Well, that's actually a really good spot to finish because they kind of go into the story of this now. Yep. I'm going to mark it right there. This is crazy good. Maybe it's because I don't follow them that closely. This reads like a straight up soap opera. It's crazy to me. It's insane. And like, what's their rebuttal? The Oprah interview and the Netflix show, like that didn't go great. They didn't look so good at the end of that. So, and then anything else that they produce, like her cooking in the kitchen when she doesn't even know how to hold utensils or appliances or anything and claiming herself to be the next Martha Stewart. Well, that didn't work. I'm sure she's going to go into the fashion world, or probably fashion. I was going to say makeup, but probably fashion. That'll be her next, because she failed at the others. I mean, everything. She failed at her foundation. I don't know what it's done. I've never heard about it. What's Archwell do? Like, with that level of fame, do you know the influence you could have? This woman's a piece of work. All right. Look at all the people that joined here too. Hello, Patrick 09. Oh, Joni, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. So good. There's nothing that is going to bug her more than to lose that title. She uses that title. She uses the title that was already stripped from her still. So if they take it away, No. Was that no to the chips? Chips aren't wrapped in the paper. It's the only question I can remember asking. Harry's suing for protection again. Oh. He wants the country where he lives paying for his protection. We're not going to pay for him. Who's he think he is? He's no more famous than a lot of other people in America. No one pays for their protection. We don't pay for anyone's protection here. Well, unless you work for the government. Become a government employee. Do something in the CIA, FBI, or run for a very, very high political office. If you're president or vice president, you get protection the rest of your life. I don't know what the deal is with the congressmen, senators. I don't think they get it. I think they only get it while they're in office. I don't know. No, he did not say that. I know. Is it shocking? This book is shocking me. Oh. Yep, telling lies to Oprah and in spare hurting the royal family. And now he wants to come back and go like, I still want to work for you and get money and kind of get away from the ball and chain over here. I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to live with her. So can I just go to Africa for like a month every 6 months? Get away. I'll do little trips in between there. Back at England, I'll do I can't live with this, sir. I can't live with her. And then you pay me because I need money too. And then I'll be part of the royal family. So then I'll get the royal family protection again. I am sure he kind of presented it like that. And Charles was like, not happening. You had a chance. You blew it. Okay. Y'all, thanks for joining me for this. We are going to be back next week. My tea actually has tea in it. Although that tastes good too. Empress Jenny. Yes. I'm like, I have to choose a different title. I think I've used all the titles I know. Oh no, Empress. I'm going to have to think on it for next week and come up with another one again. All right. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Is that out? When did that come out? Oh, she knows it all, that Lady Colin Campbell. She knows where all the bodies are buried. I mean, she needs to. Oh, how long ago did she write a book? I'll read it after this one before we get to Tom's second book. Because I have a feeling since they're not announcing yet, he just said 2026, that it's probably later in 2026. Meghan and Harry, the real story. Okay. That'll be our next book. Meghan and Harry, the real story. And we'll discuss together. All right. I love how she's like a no holds barred kind of gal. I like it, especially now since, she knows a lot. She was kind of friendly with the Queen, wasn't she? Pretty sure. Oh, it came out in 2020. That was a while ago. Oh, it's updated last year. Oh, okay. That's good. Then she'll be up to date with stuff. Okay. So I'll get a current, good to know. Updated 2024, because we want the most recent version. Okay. I got to run. Got to get into my other thing. Thank you all for being here. We will see you queens next week. Have a fantastic week. Goodbye.